San Antonio starts right now.
Put the phones away all day. Northside ISD is laying down the law, and it's changing more than just classroom rules. This morning, how students, parents, and teachers are adjusting.
The trial of Derek Coles reveals some gruesome new information about his son's death, what prosecutors say really happened, and the next move in his wife's case.
And the Texas Senate just passed a redistricting plan, and it has Democrats walking out. What's at stake if they don't return by Friday? And with that, we're off and running here on this Wednesday. Again, first day of school for some additional kiddos today.
Third day for some, second day for others. And I will say the weather is checking out a little bit this morning. Meteorologist Justin Horn, I need you to explain this to me because don't laugh at me. I had to put my card in. I was a little bit late, but while I was pulling my card in, I felt some type of thing in the air. Is that humidity, rain? What's happening right now?
It's some thick humidity.
Okay.
Yeah, it's funny. We're still in the low 80s, so that really does kind of tell the story. That means the air is thick and it's just not able to cool down. We actually could see a little bit of mist and drizzle, I suppose, in a few spots, but really the main show is going to come this afternoon. 30% chance of some downpours later today. And it's going to be a lot like yesterday where we get some of those afternoon pop-ups. If you're lucky enough to get some rain, good on you. And you could pick up a quick half-inch of rain. Some folks yesterday picked up an inch, and I'll show you some of those totals coming up here in just a bit. But 98 is the forecast high today. So as we look outside right now, 82 degrees, feels like 86. 77 in New Braunfels, feels like 79. It's just a very warm morning. We're going to be lucky to get below 80 degrees to start. So we will already get off to a warm start. Okay, development in the Gulf. Is this a possibility? And the short answer is yes. We have a wave here. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. It's crossing the Yucatan right now. But as it reemerges in the Gulf later today into tomorrow, there is a small window for this to maybe develop into something, maybe even get a name. But it's not going to have big impacts on Texas because A, it's moving quickly, but B, I think that it's small and compact. That said, could bring us some rain this weekend. That's kind of the bottom line. We're going to get into all that coming up in just a few minutes. But let's get over to RJ now and talk about traffic. How are things looking?
All right, Justin, thank you very much, and a good morning to all of our folks out here. Unfortunately, we do have a major traffic incident to start out your Wednesday morning commute. Let's take a look here. This is going to be 35 southbound right here at Fisher Road. All main lanes of 35 South are currently shut down at the moment. This is going to be right between 1604 and 410. Again, for all of our folks that are headed southbound on 35 right here at Fisher Road. Let's go ahead and go out to our maps if my remote will cooperate with me. There we go. Okay, so here's where we have our accident, and I'm going to check in with TransGuide here in just a little bit, see exactly what's going on there. Potentially an 18-wheeler that somehow got involved in this one crash. So that's going to be right before we get to Evans Road. And again, traffic starting to back up all the way towards parts of 410. So not a great start there for our drivers on the southwest side of town. 35 at Topperwine, seeing some pretty good backups here for all of our drivers headed northbound on 35, basically in between Topperwine Road and headed up to the Forum. And of course, ongoing construction issues right here, 1604 East, right here at Bitters Road, basically Northwest Military Highway over in Chavano Park. So again, we'll check in on that incident on 35 South in just a bit. Let's check in with Alex Gomez right now in Drive Cam for us on this Wednesday morning, first day of school for many of our other school districts, and it looks like Alex is on the spot. Alex, what's up, man?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. So this is what the scene looks like on the southwest side, 35 southbound, just past Fisher Road. And here's that 18-wheeler. It's an HEB 18-wheeler, and it looks like it's going to be towed away here from the scene. In the meantime, you're right, the southbound lanes are going to be shut down. You have to exit right at Fisher Road, and then you can re-enter the highway about a mile down the access road. So this is what's happening over here. The northbound lanes of I-35 not being affected by this, and that side of the highway is still going to be open, RJ.
Okay, thank you very much for that update, Alex. And yeah, hopefully they get that cleared out here pretty soon. Guys, back to you.
All right, 5:04 now. So new this morning, Northside ISD's Board of Trustees approved a new policy banning all communication devices from when the first bell rings until the school day is over.
So Superintendent Dr. John Kraft says that the district will follow the new Texas law as it is written, where the law prohibits phones the whole day, and that includes lunchtime. Kraft says the students may bring a phone to school, but it has to stay in their backpack.
And teachers will be asked to keep students' backpacks in a designated area in the classroom. If a student does not bring a bag, they will still have to leave their phone in that area.
Next week, San Antonio ISD will discuss its own cell phone policy.
Meanwhile, the trial continues for Derek Coles, a man accused of beating his son so badly that he died. His son, Danilo Coles, died back in February of 2022. Prosecutors told the jury that the suspect and his wife, Capri Cheatham, repeatedly abused the 12-year-old with extension cords, burning him and making him hold heavy items over his head for hours. If Derek Coles is convicted, he faces up to life in prison. The trial date for his co-defendant, who again is his wife, Capri Cheatham, has yet to be set.
In court today, 15 suspects accused of being involved in a state-led vote harvesting scheme. 6 of those suspects, including the Frio County judge and Pearsall County members, were arrested in May. So the other 9, including a former candidate for San Antonio mayor and former Bexar County Democratic chair, were indicted in early July. Most have been charged with vote harvesting, which is a third-degree felony in Texas.
Where are we, I should say, with Project Marvel, the proposed downtown sports and entertainment district? Well, San Antonio Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones has called for a pause in negotiations. She wants an independent economic analysis on the project before the city can move forward with plans to pay for some of it. She explained her reasoning during a KSAT Q&A yesterday.
The only economic analysis that we've seen has been done by the Spurs' consultant. And so CSL, that was commissioned to do the economic analysis for all of the sports and entertainment district, they acknowledge, they just looked at, I'll just say, the top lines of the Spurs consultant's numbers. With this level of investment, we need an understanding of the assumptions, an understanding of the data sources, an understanding of the methodology. We're talking about $500 million here.
Well, that $500 million is the amount the city of San Antonio could potentially put toward the project. Another $311 million could come from Bexar County, and the Spurs could chip in an additional $500 million.
Coming up now with some of your morning headlines, the Texas Senate has passed a GOP-led redistricting bill that could give Republicans up to 5 more House seats. But without enough members present in the House, the bill can't move forward. 9 Democratic senators walked out, calling the process, quote, corrupt. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick blasted them for taking what he said was a vacation, while Governor Abbott says he'll keep calling special sessions until Republican priorities pass. If Democrats don't return by Friday, this session will end and a new one will begin immediately. Yesterday afternoon, emergency crews rushed to a train derailment in Palo Pinto County, just west of Fort Worth. 35 train cars were involved, carrying hazardous materials, but so far there's been no leaks reported. Video from the scene that you see right here shows several cars piled up with heavy, dark smoke rising up into the air. A new study shows that extreme heat and rising temperatures are taking a big toll on bird populations. Research found that extreme heat events cut tropical bird numbers by 25 to 38% between 1950 and 2020. And this happened even in some of the remote protected areas where bird populations usually stay stable. Some scientists say short bursts of intense heat can hurt tropical birds more than slow, gradual temperature rises. That's because birds can't sweat or lose water easily, making them very sensitive to heat. Climate change has caused 10 times more dangerously hot days than 40 years ago. Justin?
Thank you, sir. We'll go outside with live cam. Temperatures are still in the 80s right now. By the way, if you go outside right now, you look to the east, you can see Venus and Jupiter there right on the horizon. It's pretty cool. Also, the Perseid meteor shower going on. You may catch a few this morning. Otherwise, rain chances are going to start to come up as we get into the weekend because we may see some tropical moisture. I'll show you where it's coming from coming up.
5:09 right now. School has already started, but parents are already planning for next year. How a local group is helping families navigate new school options and voucher laws with free 101 support.
And Northeast ISD is facing a huge decision this November. We'll tell you about the nearly $500 million bond that could transform schools. All right, we're back now, 5:12 on this Wednesday. Northeast ISD is set to vote on a big decision this November. The district is asking voters to approve a $495 million bond that would fund infrastructure, security, and repairs throughout the schools. The superintendent says they've spent 2 years listening to students, parents, staff, and taxpayers to make sure this plan meets the community's needs. If you'd like to vote, you need to register by October 6th. Election day this year is November 4th.
Now, school may be starting right now, but some parents are already trying to figure out what to do next year. And the growing number of school options can be overwhelming, especially since private school vouchers became law in Texas in May.
Yeah, a local organization is expanding its services to offer one-on-one consulting for families. Now, Courtney Friedman talked to a mother who has used the School Discovery Network and says the free services helped her sons succeed.
A child's school helps form who they are, so choosing the right one is important.
It is so overwhelming because there's so many schools out there.
Jill Rodriguez was stressed out trying to find schools for her two sons, so she turned to an organization formerly known as San Antonio Charter Moms.
It started as me as a mom trying to problem solve for my own kids.
But as the education landscape grew, so did Executive Director Inga Cotton's operation. She became an expert on all types of schools and recently changed the organization name to School Discovery Network.
We're continuing to offer things like our website that has the school map and our big Facebook group with 15,000 members, and we have our School Discovery Day event.
Things Rodriguez took advantage of, which helped her find the perfect schools for her kids. They're at Frank Modla and Imelda Davis Early College Schools.
No child is alike.
And now School Discovery Network is offering a free one-on-one consulting option, allowing parents undivided attention to learn about their many options.
Neighborhood public schools, in-district charter schools, magnets, private schools. And then we finally got to the point where education savings accounts are coming to Texas.
The school vouchers are a big question mark for a lot of people, and you did a lot of research for everybody.
That's right. That's right. I've been actually following this issue since the 1980s, like since I was a teenager. So, and then in this last legislative session in the spring, the bill became a law.
Cotton has brushed up on how the private school vouchers will work, who gets priority, and how to apply. And she's now trained her new one-on-one consultants.
It's benefited not only my family, but other families that I've known of.
Which is why Rodriguez is so thrilled with where her sons ended up. A perfect place for them. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
The one-on-one consultations are offered virtually, in person, and in Spanish. You can sign up on the website schooldiscoverynetwork.org.
All right, so in today's highly advanced technological world, we got the creation of AI, or artificial intelligence. We've all seen it by now, but it has a major impact on our education. Specifically speaking, it has been a tool to help both teachers and students be faster and more efficient, whether it be helping with lesson plans for teachers or coming up with study prompts for the students. Very great, but it does bring about some challenges that school districts never had to worry about.
This is Gemini, and I'm going to ask it to, can you explain Ohm's law in Spanish?
Claro. La ley de Ohm es una fórmula básica en la electricidad.
Blind trust in AI is not advisable. AI does make mistakes. It's not flawless, and those mistakes can have serious consequences in life.
How is AI an obstacle for teachers as they try to figure out a way to keep a student's attention without having them depend on AI?
Excessive dependence on AI is definitely a challenge, especially if it's leading to academic dishonesty, where a student, without understanding the question or without understanding the concept, is just basically copy-pasting what AI gives them, right? Educating students to be AI literate is how we call it here in our field, where, you know, they understand what are the limitations of AI, when is it right to use that AI tool, when is it not appropriate.
Okay, so what are those red flags that can identify when AI has been used inappropriately? Let's get right into it. So Dr. Tagardi says that when students who normally write in those short answers end up being very long-winded in their written answers. So she's not underestimating a person to be very detailed in their answers, but when it comes out to be a huge paragraph, then that means there might be AI being used. Also, things that wouldn't normally happen is those perfect sentence structures, meaning that the sentence is exactly how AI will spit it out. But even if that's the case, punctuation, Pay attention to that. If the punctuation is being used over and over in a ways, or the different kind of logos or something that you will see in a sentence, that's probably not something that would take place. Now, another cheat that's taking place, that some students can even get the AI programs to answer questions as if they are a specific grade student. For example, if I'm an 8th grader and I tell AI, answer this question as if you're an 8th grader, yeah, they'll pick up on the issues with that. And again, specifically speaking about those punctuations, the commas, the periods, the exclamation points. These are the challenges, though. We talked about the red flags in this hour. Next hour, we're going to talk about how a Thomas Jefferson High School teacher dedicated to showing his students how to use AI ethically.
Very much, Jeff. And yes, obviously we got a lot of schools going back today. Shout out to Judson, Alamo Heights, and obviously SAISD. Do expect traffic to build up here as we get through the morning commute. And let's check out this ongoing situation right now. So 35 southbound still completely shut down. All main lanes of 35 right here at Fisher Road. Traffic is backed up to Loop 410. Again, this is going to be on the southwest side of town. And earlier we saw from Alex's shot, it looks like we have an 18-wheeler off to the side of the road there. One more trouble spot to let you know about. This is going to be 35 northbound traffic over by Topperwine, but there's also reports of southbound 35 right here at Schertz Parkway. A little bit further up the road there, Schertz Parkway, that's being affected as well. It looks like mostly our northbound traffic at the moment is seeing some delay. So let's go to Alex right now with the very latest on that incident on the southwest side. Alex, what can you tell us?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. And I'm still keeping an eye on that incident over here on the southwest side. And it looks like they're actually going to be replacing a tire on that 18-wheeler. So once they get that done, hopefully they can reopen the I-35 southbound lanes. In the meantime, that's what they're working on right now. I-35 northbound not being affected by this. The northbound lanes are still going to be open. But for 35 south, you have to exit Fisher Road and then stay on the access road for about a mile before you can re-enter the highway again, RJ.
Okay, thank you very much for that update, Alex, hanging out with us in Drive Cam. All right, Justin, how we looking out there for some of our folks headed back to school today? Judson Rockets, baby, Wagner Thunderbirds.
It's quiet this morning, RJ. I know RJ had his telescope out earlier. He was checking out all what's going on in the sky. If you want to walk outside real quick, we had clouds earlier. They are starting to clear out a little bit. You may get a chance to check out the tail end of the Perseids. Also, Venus and Jupiter on the horizon, eastern sky, if you want to check that out. Pretty cool. They're very close together. Kind of a rarity there. Outside right now, 82 degrees at the airport, 77 in New Braunfels, 82 Converse, 75 Bernie, 81 in Stinson. It's impressively warm this morning. We're going to have a hard time dropping below 80 degrees, so just know we're getting off to a pretty warm start. Yesterday, 101 was the high. Despite the fact we had clouds and some rain, we still got there. So now 12 days this year at 100 or above, if you're keeping count at home. Still doing okay. We're still below average. And I think today we stay below that mark. What can you expect rain-wise? Well, we'll start to see some showers and downpours developing around 2 o'clock. They'll start to sink a little bit further south as the day wears on. We'll call for a 30% chance of rain, as it has been between 2 and 8 p.m. is going to be your window. If you're going to see a downpour, it will not be for everyone. But for those who do, you can pick up a quick half inch, or in yesterday's case, an inch of rain. Some folks did see that. You just got to be in the right spot at the right time. That's the trick here. And I do think we'll see some activity over San Antonio a little bit later this evening. And this does show some storms flaring up east of town. We shall see. I think by 10 o'clock, a lot of this will begin to die down. High temperatures today, 98 here in San Antonio, triple digits in the normal spots. Heat index values, just like yesterday, 100 to 103 here in San Antonio. So it'll be very steamy. All right, let's go down to the Gulf. This is what we showed you off the top of the show. You see that swirl right there? We got some thunderstorms associated with it. Now it is starting to cross the Yucatan, so that's going to keep it from developing in the short term. But as it gets into the Gulf, there is a chance. There's a small window for some development, 20% chance, and I would say that's mainly going to be tomorrow. I mean, this thing's moving pretty quickly, and it will move inland by the time we get into Friday. Tropical moisture, I think that's going to be the main takeaway here. Regardless if this gets a name, which I think the odds of that are low, but if it gets a name, I think the idea here is that we'll get some tropical moisture into South Texas, and then some of that will feed up towards San Antonio by Saturday. And quite honestly, by the way, we want this thing to stay weak because that gives our rain chances better odds. If it develops, it becomes more compact and doesn't spread the wealth, so to speak. So Really, for our purposes, it would be better if it stays rather disorganized, and that will get us some better rain chances on Saturday. And that's my thinking right now. So we're going to go 30% chance today. Some more chances Thursday and Friday, then we bump it up to a 40% chance on Saturday with some tropical moisture around. And we may get some chances next week too. But in the meantime, still hot. 98 today, 100 Thursday, 98 Friday, 97 Saturday. If we do indeed get some of those downpours, that should help with temperatures. All right, speaking of tropical weather, my question this morning is, the World Meteorological Organization names hurricanes in the Atlantic. Where is this World Meteorological Organization? Where is it located? Is it in Bermuda, New York City, Paris, or Geneva? Those are some random spots, but one is correct. You can vote, ksat.com/Polsky, the QR code. Let's see if you what your hurricane knowledge is, and we'll be right back.
In today's Tech Bites, the TSA's new facial recognition ID program, it's now operating at 14 airports and 4 airlines. Delta, United, American, and Alaska are taking part. Passengers must have an airline profile and be part of the TSA's pre-check program. If so, no need for a driver's license or a passport. Elon Musk threatening to sue Apple, claiming it's giving OpenAI preferential treatment. Musk, who also owns an artificial intelligence company, claims it's an antitrust violation. He claims Apple is making it impossible for other AI companies to reach #1 in the App Store. And a new offer for anyone fed up with the cost of cable TV and streaming. Sling TV now has a 1-day pass for $4.99. You can instantly activate live TV. The company saying it's perfect for viewers who want to watch sports, award shows, and other events without a long-term contract. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
All right, 527 right now, 82 degrees outside.
All right, flood recovery continues in Kerrville as soccer fields there are bursting with debris. Up next, how the Texas A&M Forest Service is helping, or rather stepping in to help.
And it's also back to school today for Kerrville. It could be an emotional one for the students returning after devastating floods. Up next, we got the steps that the teachers and staff are taking to welcome families back with open arms. Coming up on 5:30 right here on this hump day, our third back to school day of the week.
And there will be the 4th and a 5th, and next week there are more kids. It's
eventually things will start settling down.
Yeah, exactly. So, and you were in, was it Kerrville?
Kerrville yesterday, spoke to the superintendent about their ongoing plans to start their first day in school. We're going to talk about that coming up in just a little bit.
Very good, sir.
Major traffic issues that he's been tracking with Alex Gomez. But before we get to that, meteorologist Justin Horn, what our bus stop looking like?
Let's do weather. Yes, my little one started back yesterday. My oldest starts back today. Little anxiety, but they seem to do well. They're excited, and we're going to get them some decent weather today. Temperatures 91 noontime. By the way, we're starting off in the 80s, so it's warm as you head to the bus stop right now. 96 at 2 o'clock, and then we get up to 98 for a high today. 30% chance of rain, by the way, between, I'd say, 3 and 8 p.m. Same window as yesterday. And if you do get a downpour, you can see some decent rain out of it. These were the estimated rainfall totals yesterday. And we got some good numbers, especially off to the west, where some storms flared up yesterday. Again, it's kind of the same setup today. And sunrise will be at 7:01, sunset at 8:16, 13 hours and 14 minutes of daylight today. And yes, more rain chances on the way, including on Saturday. Saturday's a day we'll watch because we could get some tropical moisture. We'll discuss that a little bit more coming up. But over to RJ now.
All right, Justin, our top story this half hour, and Ernie just mentioned it, Kerrville ISD expected to be an emotional back to school today for the entire district after devastating flooding in the Hill Country. The district welcoming back 4,600 students after a summer of loss and heartbreak. And despite everything, the community is obviously standing strong. So I sat down with Superintendent Dr. Brett Ringo before the start of class at the original Tivy School building. He said that teachers and staff are ready for students, ready for a bit of normalcy as well. Dr. Ringo told me that in an effort to help every family out, all students receive free backpacks and their full school supplies list taken care of for the entire school year.
Our teachers are definitely feeling the love. and our teachers are wanting to get our students back in the classroom. Just one, to make those personal connections. On day one, we're going to have support dogs on each campus. We're going to have crisis counselors available because the recovery process is not just going to be a definitive timeline, and that is going to be ongoing, and we're going to be there for our students and our families as long as they need it.
Now, Dr. Ringo said that fortunately the district did not have any damage to any of their buildings or buses during the flooding incident. In fact, they actually used their transportation vehicles and staff as well to help evacuate hundreds of kids from campsites. Again, they start their school year later on this morning. Ernie, back to you.
All right, we wish them all the best for sure. Well, one of the first lawsuits linked to a death from the Hill Country floods has been filed. A family is suing a campground after 23-year-old Bailey Martin and his 22-year-old fiancee Jada Floyd died when their RV was swept away at the HTR Texas Hill Country Resort. The lawsuit filed in Kerr County targets the campground, its investors, Blue Water Development, and the resort's general manager. It claims the campground ignored 11 flash flood warnings, failed to provide safe escape routes, and did not train staff for emergencies. The family is seeking more than $1 million in temporary relief. The campground has not responded to requests for comment.
This morning, Kerrville's next step in flood recovery. It's been more than a month since the deadly Hill Country floods, but in Kerrville, we got debris being stored and chipped at the Loop 534 soccer fields. And we learned this morning more than 115,000 cubic yards of debris has been accumulated there. And if that's hard to visualize how much that is, you need to think 1 cubic yard is about the size of a standard washing machine. In total, that is 115,000 cubic yards here of debris that's been collected. As these cleanup operations continue, city staff say that people with the Texas A&M Forest Service are marking trees that can be saved near the river.
There's a lot of work ahead of us in terms of what is it going to look like, what's the shape of the river going to look like, how much can we leave, how much do we need to just say be gone because it's a safety issue. And so we have to balance the conservation with the practicality of it all.
Debris management is just one area of the city of Kerrville they are focusing on, but they got the operations and economic recovery happening as well. We learned search and rescue recovery efforts were out in Nimitz Lake yesterday to try to find the 2 people still reported missing in these floods, but we didn't get an update on what was found.
Well, this morning here back in San Antonio, we are connecting with the council. I'm actually going out to each of the 10 city council districts to talk candidly with the council members representing all sides of town. So my first stop was Morgan's Wonderland in District 10, where council member Mark White is gearing up for the annual city budget talks, while passionate discussions are being held about money and spending, especially around Project Marvel.
Project Marvel as a whole, there's a lot that goes on there, but what we're really focused on right now is the proposed new Spurs Arena downtown. And it's really important for your viewers to have a clear understanding of what's going on here. The county has called an election for November. That election is going to decide the fate of this new arena, right? It's a done deal. The voters will go to the polls in November to decide this issue. City Council doesn't get to decide whether we have a new arena or not. It's the voters, and that's how it should be.
Right.
All we're doing right now as a City Council is we are trying to finalize the term sheet, because it's my position that the voters deserve to know the details, the terms of the deal before they go to the polls in November.
That's just some of our conversation. You can catch more of it later on this morning on KSAT Plus, GMSA Plus on the free KSAT Plus app, or go online to ksat.com.
All right, let's take a look at some more morning headlines. President Donald Trump is having a virtual meeting today with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and several European leaders. The talk is expected to set the stage for Trump's summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Friday, but big challenges remain for a ceasefire between the two countries. Zelensky wants security guarantees from allies, warning that without them, Russia could strike again. Another major issue is land. Zelensky says that giving up parts of eastern Ukraine could open up the door for another Russian invasion. The Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE as it's known, now has the authority to access potentially sensitive data from millions of Americans. A federal appeals court overruled a lower court decision that had blocked the access in the past. So DOGE teams can now collect information from the Treasury, Education departments, and the Office of Personnel Management. The Justice Department says DOJ uses this data to find waste and fraud in taxpayer money. Several labor unions, however, have argued that this violates federal privacy laws. The State Department has released its annual human rights report reviewing countries' actions from last year. Now, most of the report was finished before President Trump's second term. However, it underwent big changes recently. Countries friendly to the Trump administration, like El Salvador, received some less criticism. Meanwhile, the United Kingdom and Germany were called out for cracking down on free speech. The report says it was streamlined to follow the president's executive's orders. RJ, what's it looking like out there in the traffic world?
All right. Thank you very much for that, Devin. Let's give you an update here on the traffic situation with our TransGuide traffic cameras. And a quick look here at 35 right there at Fisher Road. This has been an area that we've been kind of focused on throughout the better part of our first 30 minutes or so. And earlier we had reported that 35 southbound was closed down, but it looks like traffic is starting to move along here. 35 south, a little bit past 410. So it looks like we, for the most part, are good to go there. Earlier, Alex had a shot there showing an HEB truck, which had been stalled on the side of the road. And it looks like things are back to normal there. I-10 right here at West Avenue, there is reports of a crash, but we also have ongoing construction, not only West Avenue, but Hildebrand as well, also the Fresno area. So keep that in mind. We got flashing lights there. So again, still trying to gather more information. And then 151 Military Drive at here at this is going to be our eastbound lanes headed towards Highway 90. We are seeing a little bit of delays here. TxDOT not reporting an incident over here in the moment, but it shows on our traffic maps like we do have the situation ongoing there for our drivers on the west side of town. Let's go to Alex right now with the very latest in Drive Cam and see how things are looking on the ground. Alex?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. So good news for the southwest side. That accident has cleared. That 18-wheeler was able to actually drive away on its own after replacing some of those tires. And now TxDOT Hero is reopening I-35 South. They're just picking up some of those barrels. So again, the lanes have been reopening over here I-35 South at Fisher Road, RJ.
Okay, thank you very much for that update, Alex. And we see our Hero trucks out there bright and early with us on this Wednesday morning. Justin.
Thank you, sir. We'll go outside with high cam. It is 82 degrees. It is not cooling down at all this morning. We've got, right now, mostly clear skies here over San Antonio. We are watching, of course, what's going on in the Gulf, but also out in the Atlantic. Tropical storm Erin. We'll give you the latest update on where it's headed coming up.
The ingredients for the grilled beef skewers and baked potatoes start with this London broil steak, which you can see is a big piece of meat, a little over 1.5 pounds. Got that for $11.75. 4 baked potatoes, got those in at $4.13. 2 green bell peppers, got those for $1.24. 1 jumbo red onion, got that for $1.36. And some skewers, got for $1. You want to prep your grill, have that thing ready and hot. And then I'm going to show you how to make these skewers right here, coming up right here on GMSA. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it.
And after a slow start on the southwest side, the highway has reopened on I-35. I'm going to get back on the highways and give you more traffic updates coming up after the break.
5:46 right now. We got the Powerball jackpot climb to that massive $526 million. Fortunately, no one hit all 6 numbers in Monday's drawing. And I say fortunately it's because I try to put my little bit in. But again, the jackpot is going to keep growing from here. If you win, that one-time cash option is $241 million. And the next drawing set for today. So far this year, there have been only 4 Powerball jackpot winners, with the most recent one on May 31st in California. So yes, please, nobody win just yet. And if you do win, remember your GMSA family.
That's right. Right here. Is it disappointing that you only get $241 million if you choose the one-time cash out?
No,
for a $526 million pot.
Mm-hmm. Lord bless it. We just gonna see what happens. Either way, how's the weather look?
I can tell you the odds of seeing rain today are much better.
So you're saying there's a chance?
No, not really. Oh. Well, for the rain, not the.
Yeah,
not
right.
The
Of course. Yeah.
Anyway, tropical storm Erin is out in the Atlantic. Winds right now 45 miles per hour. It's moving west at 20 miles per hour. This storm is going to gain strength. We know that. It is moving into an area where the atmosphere is conducive for development. So we got warm waters, we got low wind shear, all the ingredients you need to get these storms to strengthen, and we do think this becomes a hurricane. Let me show you the track here, and we're going to fast forward to Sunday morning, a Cat 3, potentially a major hurricane here. Now, this is the good news, and I know it's kind of hard to see on your screen, but those are the Virgin Islands there and some of the islands, and the track takes it just north of the island. So this really should stay out over open water. Now, Bermuda is the one spot I would say they would need to watch this, but otherwise it is forecast to become just an ocean storm here as it recurves back out into the Atlantic. Hey, I want to show you a picture here. Steve sent this in yesterday. This was from I-35 in New Braunfels looking north, and you could see some of those storms developing. It was kind of a beautiful sight because we had mostly clear skies here in San Antonio, but off in the distance you could see those anvil clouds building up. And we did get some storms, and some places, as I said, did pick up some good rain. If you were up around, say, Bulverde, about half an inch or a little bit more there, that was a spot that got good rain. Notice not much here around San Antonio. Southeast side got a little bit. As you get into parts of Bandera County, up into Kerr County, there was some rain. Out west, Lakey was a place that got some good rain yesterday. So it was spotty. If you didn't get any rain yesterday, you got another opportunity today. This is 2 o'clock. Showers and downpours begin to develop. And then by 4 p.m., we've got a 30% chance of rain here in San Antonio. We'll see some of this spotty activity work a little bit further south into town. High temperatures will still be up around 98. It'll still be hot, but at least we've got that chance for rain. And I think the corridor of rain may shift a little bit further south today, which would be good for San Antonio. It even shows a few storms hanging around to the 10 o'clock hour, but I think after that, most of this will go away. 80 degrees at 8 a.m., 82 at 9 a.m., 94 at 1 o'clock, and then look for a high of 98 with that 30% chance of rain. During those afternoon hours, 3, 4, 5 o'clock, you'll get some downpours that could affect the evening commute, in fact. 20% chance of rain tomorrow and Friday. I think Thursday and Friday you'll see less coverage. But then Saturday, as we talked about last half hour, with some of that tropical moisture coming in, we should see some scattered downpours. 40% chance of rain there before it dries out Sunday and Monday. All right, our Just Ask Justin question this morning on the topic of tropics. The World Meteorological Organization, which is part of the United Nations, names hurricanes in the Atlantic. Did you know that? Well, now you do. And my question to you is, where is it? Where is this World Meteorological Organization located? Is it in Bermuda, New York City, Paris, or Geneva? KSAT.com/poll is where you can vote. Scan the QR code. Let us know what you think. Let's have some fun with it this morning. Right now, Geneva, Switzerland.
Hey.
Anyway, interesting.
Let's go. Okay, on the roadways with RJ.
It's got to be D, right? It's in the Geneva Convention.
It's the popular one right now so far.
Maybe
Talladega
so.
Nights, Ricky Bobby. There you go. Okay. You can't talk to me like that. It's in the Geneva Convention. Okay, I digress. Will Ferrell, a classic. All right, I-10 right here at Hildebrand. We do have ongoing construction taking place here. And right now, checking in with TxDOT, they did report a crash in the at one of the exit ramps right here at I-10. This is going to be our westbound traffic over by West Avenue. So right now a little bit busy over here in the Hildebrand West Avenue area, again the Fresno area. So anyone headed down towards Woodlawn Lake going to be running into a little bit of traffic here. All right, our traffic right here, 151. This is going to be coming in eastbound before you get to Highway 90. It looks like traffic a little bit further up the road over by Military Drive is moving along, but we are seeing this slow down right here, 151. So keep that in mind for all of my drivers on the west side of town. Good morning to all of our folks out here. 35 in both directions. Traffic starting to move along here pretty well, but keep in mind we do have Judson ISD. They are starting class later today. So as we get into our 6 o'clock hour, we're going to show you some of the streets and highways that we do expect to get a little bit busy. Veterans Memorial is actually in this area, so we'll check on that here in just a little bit. All right, let's go to Alex Gomez right now on the roads for us in Drive Cam. Alex, how are things looking on the ground?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. Well, the southwest side is improving. I-35 south at Fisher Road has reopened, so I'm driving around the west side now. I'm going to go check out that slowdown at 151 near Callahan Road. It looks like it's construction delays, so I'm going to go check it out, and I'll let you know what I see, RJ.
All right, thank you very much, sir. We'll check back in with Alex at top of our 6 o'clock hour. Guys.
Very good, thank you. 5:52 now, 82 degrees outside.
Girls in North Carolina who received dolls after Hurricane Helene are paying it forward. How they're helping Texas families affected by the deadly flooding with dolls and heartfelt cards. All right, so we got some girls in North Carolina who received some dolls after Hurricane Helene last year. They're paying it forward now. Now, over the weekend, they packed up more than 40 dolls for the girls affected by the deadly flooding in Texas, and the mothers joined in writing cards of encouragement from the mothers impacted by the floods.
That is so nice.
Great deal right there.
Another example of help coming in from all
over, yeah. It is now 5:56 right now, 82 degrees outside.
So the trial of Derek Coles reveals some gruesome new information about his son's death, what prosecutors say really happened, and the next move in his wife's case.
And it's also back to school today in Kerrville. It could be an emotional one for the students returning after the devastating floods. But up next, we got the steps the teachers and staff are taking to welcome the families back with open arms.
And Drive Cam on a Wednesday. Alex, not moving at the moment, but we'll check in with him and RJ top of the hour on this first day of school for some kiddos. We'll be back.